up and down. Drop it down to the floor.
Hello, my name is Kristen. Our camera woman is Brittany, and then our patient here is Morgan. And we are physical therapist assistant students at Carroll Community College. And today we're going to be showing you how to do a dependent transfer with the hydraulic stander. So we'll be using this stander when the patient is a dependent transfer, but the PTA does not feel comfortable to transfer the patient with the dependent stand pivot. So with the stander, there are brakes on the wheels. We'll want to make sure they are down. And with this remote, we're able to open the legs wider and bring them in closer. So when the patient is sitting in the wheelchair, we can go wider. And then we can bring the arms up and bring the arms down when we are sitting the patient and standing them up. So what I'll be doing is placing this belt around Morgan. So I'll have her look forward for me. Put this around her back. And then with this hook, I'll be strapping her in, making sure that the loop is snug and tight around her waist, so when we lift her up, it does not come loose. Does that feel comfortable? Yep, that's good. All right, so let's stand out of the way. And then with the hydraulic stander, due to safety measures, we will need Brittany, our camera woman, to come in and stand behind the patient when we transfer from the wheelchair to the hospital bed.
So the most important thing about the wheelchair is to make sure it's locked so that you're steady and can move the patient without the wheelchair slipping out from underneath them. So you're going to pull the brakes back. And then also in the hospital setting, you want to make sure that they have booties on. And I also have a gown on. I have one in the front and one in the back to protect my modesty. The next thing is you want to make sure that the footrests are taken off so that they're out of the way for the transfer. And then also make sure that the front casters are pointed straight.
Okay, so what I'll be doing is unlocking these foot brakes, pushing the stander close to our patient. And since the legs are together, I will be opening them up with this remote to get them close to the patient. Alright, so her feet are placed onto the stand, unlocking the brakes with the feet. Alright, so what I'll be doing is placing these little loops onto the hooks here. The patient can help me if she can. Alright, and then I'll advise the patient to put her hands on the outside of this handle. Alright, so Brittany is behind the patient to help with safety. So what I'll be doing is advising the patient to rest her hands right here on the handles, and I will be lifting the stander arms up. Alright, so I'll use this remote. I'm pulling up. So Morgan is not helping at all. She's using all of her weight, just relaxed. The stander is doing all of the work.
Hydraulics, 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 hydraulics.
The is all the way up. I'll be in charge of moving the stander, and Brittany will be in charge to be behind the patient for safety. So I unlock the wheel brakes. I'll be pulling back. Alright, and then I will turn to face the bed. Alright, and then I'll move her towards the bed to be able to sit down. Alright, since the legs are out all the way, I will be pulling them in just so it's a little more convenient to get into the bed. And then I will be backing the patient's legs all the way up to the bed where she can feel it. Do you feel the bed behind you? Okay, great. So I'll be putting the locks down on the wheels. And then I will be using the remote again to lower the patient towards the bed. Again, she's not helping with anything. This is a dependent transfer, so the belt is and the loops are doing everything here. I'll make sure the arms come all the way down first before I take off the belt loops. All right. Take those loops off, unfasten the belt here. move this belt out of the way. And then I will be moving the stander out of the way. You can make sure your feet are off the, thank you. And I will move this out of the way. Put the brakes back on. All right, and then what we'll be doing is getting the patient into supine position so she's safe on the bed. So I'll be helping her with that, placing my hands and arm under her knees, my right arm around her neck and shoulder to help with coming down. 1, 2, 3. All right, putting the pillow underneath her knees. Putting these up for safety, making sure the patient is comfortable and she's okay in this position for the time frame. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
So on a side note, if there's somebody that may need a gait belt, you can use that for safety reasons too, or make sure that the assistant helper is making sure that the person isn't falling while the other person is taking the stander away. Everything is based on what the patient can or cannot do.
Yes, exactly. So that was the dependent transfer with the hydraulic stander. All right, so here is a closer look to the hydraulic stander. So what we're doing here is that here's the button to turn on the stander. What you want to do is turn it to the right and have it pop out. So if you can see closely, the screen here, all the lines are black, which means it is on. Okay. Second part of the stander is the brakes. The brakes on each wheels that we want to keep locked when we are standing up the patient in the hydraulic stander, and then once we get them to the bed of the hospital bed. Okay, the third thing would be the remote. This remote has 4 buttons total for 2 components. The top part is the arms. So when I hit the up button, it brings the arms up. And when I do the down button, it brings the arms down. The second component of the remote is for the legs. This button opens the legs. This button closes the legs. I don't know if this is a good view. All right. So then with the belt, this is the harness that we place around the patient. This section clips onto the patient. And then these loops clip onto the hydraulic stander. So I'll show you, for example, if this was hooked onto the patient, these hooks, depending on how close the patient is, would go under here and stay on. And then same on this side. So the green is one level, the blue is a second level. So we'll do the green on this side and hook it on. So when we do the remote to bring up the arms, this will lift the patient up into a standing position. Okay, that's all.
Can't get enough. So much to discover. Please don't stop me now.